And then the other thing was the virtual reality. And so the government will only let us talk in educational entertainment in what's called LARP, or live action role play. So that's why Dan was important to come on and get the education. But now I know what level he's in, so I can talk to him about faster than the speed of light and wormhole technology. But, there's detonation waves too. And, right now they're just working on the forces and trying to understand gravity here. That's where this planet is. Dan, isn't that what you understand?
No, I'm more involved. As far as the technology that I'm involved in, it's what's going to be released. We call it the transitional technologies that are going to be. What's going to be released to the public is what I'm involved in. I know of the other stuff because I've reinvented it. I've rediscovered it. I know about the higher levels of technology, even the 8th Force, by the way. I'm here with the 8th Force. But I don't work in those forces because that's not what's going to be released over the next 30, 50 years. What's going to be released to the public over the next, from now to the next 50 years, is what I'm involved in, that level of technology, the transitional technology. That's what I'm personally working in.
Well, what level of space are you working in? Are you working in Mach 5? Or where? How are you helping this reality?
What do I know? I know Mach 9.8. I know all the way up to 10. I know temporal drive. I know portal technology. I know all that stuff because I reinvented it.
Well, when you say know portal technology, okay. But what portal?
Work. I know how the portals
Wait, finish the sentence. You know portal technology. What does that mean?
I know how they work. It means I know how the portals work. Yeah. I also know how to build a 9.8 warp 9.8 ship, but I don't do that. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I'm working on the technology that's going to be released to the public.
Right.
I'm not interested
in
that.
We're doing the first step. We're doing the first step.
Yeah, he's not interested in what I do. He's just starting at in this reality.
Because we're interested in, or I'm interested. I'll speak for myself. And getting this reality change from this poverty level where, most of the planet's in slavery, corporate economic slavery, and we're, living on the street in the elements and starving to death. I'm interested in uplifting humanity. I'm tired of looking at it. I'm tired of hearing about it.
Well, you already talked to Lewis Spencer. Lewis Spencer had a 3D reality on. Working in 43 to 47, didn't he? With the
I don't remember what you're talking about, Lewis Spencer. No.
Lawrence Spencer and his story.
Well, Lawrence, all he did was have the story from the nurse at the Roswell crash, and you have the Roswell information if you ever, want to reveal that because you worked on the craft.
A lot of our authors. That's how we. All right. So, those are just stories that are information for Gus or Galaxy Universes shuttles. But those go from Galaxy, but those stay in the galaxy. They stay in this galaxy. They stay a shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, from here, the stratosphere, right? They use more. The same thing out in space. They use what he's talking about. Let me put it that way. But it goes back up. The small shuttles go up to the ships that are outside in this area, and you leave and you go up to the main ships. So they can only carry you so far, right? And that's where we have the 15 seconds that people were talking about back in Bill and Barney, the police officer, all those people on the planet, right? So what we have to get is
15 seconds. What's the 15 seconds? What do you mean by that?
Okay, when you leave it's like what Einstein. You're going to get me real complicated. It's when you leave and you lose time. It's like faster than the speed of light. When life here changes when you leave this planet out into space, and you lose time because time doesn't exist in space. It gets real complicated. That's why I was trying to get involved with people in time travel. That's Stuart Anderson. Remember in India, all that, so we could explain it to people?
No.
Because
you're losing me.
Okay. Well, we don't have time to go into all that. But let's just.
Well, we have 10 minutes.
It could be 14. I forgot.
14
when we're
seconds
missing
or
time, we
minutes.
can't explain it. I don't remember.
Is
it's
it
12 to
minutes
14.
or seconds?
No, it's seconds. We can't put back the seconds.
Okay, seconds.
It's missing.
Okay.
So that was my Ericop time travel people. Okay, that's a whole different. I don't know. That's why I want Dan involved. Dan somehow has learned to take what I do and be a translator. So he can help me because I can talk to higher.
Have you worked in the time travel aspect at all, Dan?
Yes.
Well, you help me out.
The portals are time. They use time travel technology. The portals. The ancient builder race built the gates. They're portals. The portals take advantage of wormholes that are permanent. The wormholes that Theresa was talking about, the ones that appear here and there, we can actually calculate where they're going to appear and where they're going to appear, and we can take advantage of them. That's a different. That actually takes shipboard technology. That's what all our ships
there you
have.
go.
Yeah. Okay. See, I can explain all your stuff.
Thank you.
I reinvented all that stuff. But the technology that I actually personally sit down and work on is what's going to be allowed to be released by the United States government, the United States military, what they're allowing to be released to the public. That's what I work on. It's called the transition technology.
Okay, so you're not working with Tom DeLonge.
No.
Okay, so what about kinetic energy?
I'm not working with Lockheed Martin. Marilyn would love to have me, but she's not offering me enough money. I'm not working with them.
All right. So if we're talking about workforce and life force and basically energy change, can you help me up? How are we going to tell them how it applies outside of this universe? Because they're just now getting speakers talking about this local solar system. So are you going to help with the gravitation?
Yes.
Abbreviated force energy. All right, so with the kinetic energy and life force, that's still the theory of everything is still, they're basically said they've got CERN, right? And all they're doing is making smaller, I don't know what you'd say, experiments, because right now they're looking at photons. They haven't got past photons yet, right? At the seventh force?
Correct.
You know what I'm talking about?
CERN doesn't.
All right.
CERN is not aware of the 6th or 7th forces. CERN is not aware of the 6th and 7th forces or wormholes.
When will they?
I don't know.
Are you going to help?
If they ask me to, I'll help them along. Right now, I have some scientists who are not in the U.S. military who are starting to ask me, Dan, do you know how the 6th and 7th force works? And I go, yeah. And then I show them a little bit. And they go, oh, my God, I can't believe it. You know how to do that. And everybody's been leading me in the wrong direction. But I have to ask permission from the U.S. military to work with certain people. And they do have some scientists. They want me to work with some brilliant kids, some very young guys that are absolutely brilliant. But I got to get permission to do that. You know, I don't. You know, I know the protocol. They are going to allow me.
Are they going to let you? Well, that's what that guy that Janet brought on here, Graham Hancock. Was that it, Gigi?
No.
Janet. Which one wanted me to teach him?
Grant Cameron wants to know about the Stargates, and so I'll get back to him. So we're going to talk to him about the Stargates, but he wants to really go through one. Is it possible to go through a Stargate here as a 3D person on human Earth? Let me just finish that with Dan. Can a human being go through a Stargate and come out unscathed?
Yes, the gates are on all the gates were put by the ancients on all the habitable planets in our galaxy and in other galaxies, by the way. But the gate system, except for the Ganymede again, the Ganymede gate is from galaxy to galaxy. And it's the only gate in our solar system that is from galaxy to galaxy, the Ganymede gate.
I don't know what it was called.
On this planet, the other gates that are on this planet, they call them portals or arches. The ancients called them arches. We like to call them, in the secret space program, the personnel in the secret space program like to call them portals. They don't like to call them gates. They're not rings. That was the Stargate's way of presenting them. They can't present a sphere, but you actually step inside of a sphere, and then I won't go into exactly how they work right now, but I know the details of how they work. But those are permanent wormholes from all of the habitable planets. And so, yes, when you
why are they calling it Ganymede?
No, that was just the name of that.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
no,
I have a question before we run out of time.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, my question is, when I was a kid, I would see something open up in my backyard, and this being would step through. It wasn't like the gates or anything like that. It was just, it was almost like it was kind of like the effect they have in Stargate. We're kind of watery, but the whole the yard would change, and the air would change, the energy would change, and I could feel like shift. And then this reptilian being stepped through it, and then I was ending up interacting with this reptilian being, which I recovered years later what it was. But at the time, my memory blocked it because it was too frightening. Because I'm a human being, and I'm dealing with this reality, and all of a sudden I'm being in another reality, facing this reptilian being, and it steps right through my neighbor's backyard, and then I'm dealing with it. What is that?
Ship to surface transporter. That's a transporter beam. Ship to surface.
That's a transporter beam.
Yeah,
okay.
that makes more sense. But what were they opening up in New Jersey? And some of those corporations up there got involved back during. It was after Tesla.
What was Montauk technology?
It's like a cloud. It's like a misty white cloud. We don't know what to call all of these things. It's the ones that Tommy worked on, and up in New Jersey, and they flooded the whole town when the UFOs were seen. And Tesla. Do you know about that, Dan?
No.
Well, anyway, okay.
I'd have to read through it to explain it to you.
All right.
It's the opening. That's local stuff.
Is that written
all right, so we
TJ article? Is that written
Yeah,
down
it's all over the place.
Would you send us a link for that?
Place.
We'll review for a future show. If you could send us a link for that, we'll look at it for the future show. But one more question. We have like 3 minutes left. So Montauk, what technology was that? Are you aware of the Montauk project?
That's what I was talking about. That was what I was talking
That's
about.
A different thing. Now, they had a chair. Are you aware of the
Oh,
Montauk?
you're talking about.
Philadelphia experiment. What was Philadelphia experiment, Dan? What technology was that?
That would take me more than 3 minutes to explain time travel experiments.
Okay. Okay, we'll have to do the future show.
That's quite a long explanation of how that works and what they were doing. That is the technology that we use to do our 20th back service.
Oh, okay. So we'll tie that into the 20 back.
It's perfected.
Good.
So can you help?
I've talked to.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I've talked to Stuart Swerdlow at great length about the Montauk project. So we'll have to have you on with Stuart sometime. Okay, I guess we have 2 minutes. You want to wrap it up, TJ?
Yeah, Ken wanted to tell everybody that he apologizes. His battery went out, and that he sent you a chat and to tell Dan. Dan, he wasn't being disrespectful, or he says that anyway that his battery, he had another one charged up, but he just So folks, he was tired. He said he'll see us tomorrow night. So that's what happened there. If everybody just knows that we love Ken, and he'll be back tomorrow night. And Dan, I would definitely like to work with you on helping me with the taxonomy and the epistemology, if you don't mind, since you're writing patents.
I don't know. We'll have to talk about that. We'll see. Remember I'm involved in inventing, so we'll see.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. You'll want to make money off of it. Well, I've already had that with a lot of people over the years, especially with government people, engineering, and then I'll need to find out that once they get to know me, the government comes around and says, no. So we'll talk about it. But Dan, just so we can get you, there's a whole bunch of Dan Coopers, so I really need people to know how to get you on